Hello, I'm Dr. Longo, and today I wanted to talk about specifically about biological age and how we can intervene on biological age. And so I got this slide recently from a colleague of mine, Matt Camerlan, and showing the major risk factors for cancer, heart disease, and Alzheimer. And we keep seeing smoking and obesity as being very bad, let's say, for these diseases. But when you compare them to the contribution of 30 years of aging to the risk of developing these diseases, you see that smoking and obesity almost disappear as risk factors. And then when we look at the young versus the middle age versus the old, and the percentage of Americans that have multiple chronic conditions, we can see that there is a over tenfold difference in the proportion. So how do we stay young? I came up with this term juventology to contrast gerontology, the study of how we get older. But how do we stay young? And also, very interestingly, is it possible that we can become younger? And so again, juventology, the field I think that is focused on maintaining people as young as possible, and even returning as much as possible to a more youthful state. And so I wrote a book some years ago called The Longevity Diet. And the longevity diet has lots of recommendations based on multiple pillars. But perhaps the most important one are cycles of a fasting mimicking diet. And let's say every 1 to 6 months, one for the people, every month for the people that might have obesity, and might be metabolically in a bad condition, and maybe once every 6 months for the rare group of people that have do all the right things and have all the right nutrition. So what's a fasting mimicking diet? The fasting mimicking diet is a low calorie, low sugar, low protein, high unsaturated fats, and the idea is not to use homemade versions, but use what's been tested clinically. And what we tested this clinically was for matching the effects of the water-only fasting. And so matching the effects on some growth factors called IGF-1 and IGF-PP1, but also matching the effect of water-only fasting on the sugar levels in the blood and on ketone bodies in the blood. And so originally this was tested in animal studies, and in animal studies, even if we started at middle age, the cycles of this fasting mimicking diet were able to extend lifespan, but have many different effects on health span, including, for example, and this is looking at white blood cell number in young animals, and then old animals, and then all that, where it says old plus FMD, these are old animals that now are being treated with the cycles of this fasting mimicking diet. And this is one example looking at the blood and what appears to be a rejuvenation of the blood. And then another example in animals is what appears to be a rejuvenation of the pancreas, in this case, pancreas that is damaged. And the fasting mimicking diet cycles are turning on. You see the lane on the left is green. And these are the mice that eat the normal diet. And then in the center you see lots of red, and it says FMD. So these are the mice receiving the fasting mimicking diet. And now lots of the embryonic developmental genes are being turned on. And even on the right lane, when it says F1, this is day 1 of refeeding, and you see lots of red still, and this is in the pancreas now. The cycles of the fasting mimicking diet followed by a normal diet refeeding, they're turning on many factors that are normally only seen when we are first born, and so they're involved in embryonic development. What about people? Well, we had done a trial years ago, about 5 years ago, on 100 patients randomized at USC. And this showed remarkable effects on body weight, abdominal fat, waist circumference, and all these improvements happen in the absence of a reduction of muscle mass. So the cycles of a fasting mimicking diet done once a month for three months, so 3 cycles, were able to cause remarkable metabolic, cardiometabolic effects without reducing muscle mass. And so then we followed up, then we finally looked at, based on Morgan Levine's biological age clock, we looked at the blood of these subjects, and we also did the same for a new trial, and we look at biological age. And it turns out that after 3 fasting mimicking diet cycles, biological age is reduced by about 2.5 years based on this bioage method. And then the simulation, so the projection, based on the data that we see from these cycles, is that if someone was to do the fasting mimicking diet 3 times a year for 20 years, from age 50 to age 70, the potential would be 11 years of reduction in biological age. And so just to summarize, biological age and disease risk goes up with chronological age and chronological aging, and so this FMD cycles appear to be able to reduce this biological age, and potentially, we know this for mice, we don't know for people yet, but potentially by causing regenerative processes as the one we saw for the blood and for the pancreas and many other systems in the mouse. So I encourage you to read the book, The Longevity Diet, and also for those interested, my foundation clinics follow people that want to apply the longevity diet and the fasting mimicking diet in Los Angeles and everywhere in the United States and around the world. Okay, so thank you.